Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to OCSBN's live coverage of the 2024 OCCHS Football House Draft. I am your host for this evening, Scott Van Smelt, alongside my colleagues Smarty Myth and Herc Curbstreet. We have a special show for you tonight as we'll analyze the picks as they're made, and we will now go to the commissioner for the first pick.
We're excited to get this season underway. I'm excited to be a part of this, and we're going to jump right into it. With the first pick of the 2024 Obion County House Draft, House Elite selects Sammy Gutschneck.
All right, so House Elite with the first pick is going to pick Sammy Gutnick. Sammy is a offensive and defensive lineman. What do we think about the first pick?
Well, if there's one thing about this guy, it is sweat. He wakes up in the morning, sweat. Eats a meal, sweat. Sitting in class, sweat. Taking an ice bath, sweat. But he sweats because he works hard at everything he does, and that becomes his superpower in our competitions because he takes that shirt off and you cannot get a hold of him.
I think this is a good pick for him. Team Elite gets a lineman, someone they can put the heavy lifting on. He can handle a lot of that being the bigger guy. Hopefully moves a little better than his brother did last year. We'll see how that goes.
On to the commissioner for the next pick.
With the second pick of the 2024 Obion County House Draft, House Remarkable selects Harrison Hooper, who will be joining us from home.
Remarkable with their second pick, picks a surprise pick, Harrison Hooper. Harrison also plays baseball, so that's going to affect a little bit of what he can do during the offseason as far as competitions and any kind of team contributions he can make. But interesting pick. What do you think?
I think this is a good pick for him. Like you said, I think definitely a surprise. Not someone I would have went with early on, but someone with a lot of skill, the ability to, help his team out. Good speed. I think this helps a lot.
Good in the classroom, good in school. He's got good grades. He's got good behavior. That's really going to help him too.
He's not overly physical or dominant in the weight room, not going to run past many people, but he does have charisma. Everybody loves him. He's a cool guy. He's funny. He's a hard worker. Even the other team loves him so much that they just keep throwing him the ball. He led our JV team in interceptions last year. The question isn't whether he's going to be a good member of your house, but is the value there with the second overall pick? The GMs of Remarkable sure think so.
All right. Thank you for your insight. Well, on to the next pick.
With the third pick of the 2024 Obion County House Draft, House Faith selects Jalen Driver.
All right, with our third overall pick, we have House Faith picking Jalen Driver. Jalen is a very solid pick, I think, at number 3. A lot of senior leadership. Not going to say a whole lot, but he is going to contribute both in the classroom and on the field. So what do you think?
We just had our first surprise of the draft with Harrison going number 2 overall, and I think this was our first steal. Jalen was a Super 22 player last year as a junior, and he's come back to be the fastest player on the team. He's going to run past you. He's going to run around you, but he's not going to run through you. He may just run under you instead. I thought he was a slam dunk top 2 pick in this draft. Faith nabs him 3rd overall. A great start to the draft for House Faith.
Definitely agree. Top 2 pick. I would have picked him either first or second. Sammy would have been hard to argue with. Jalen Driver definitely, like you said, not a conversationalist.
Yeah, Jalen's going to be hard to argue with as well.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
not going to really contribute to many conversations.
I've had better conversations in a graveyard. Definitely a good pick, though. Definitely a quality athlete, someone you want in your house.
All right, on to the next pick.
With the final pick in the first round of the 2024 Obion County House Draft, House Indoor selects Kamari Hannes.
All All right, House Endure picks fourth overall, with Kamari Hammonds is who they go with. Solid pick again. Kamari's made a big jump. Last year he wasn't picked very high. Not a guy that a lot of people would think would contribute. Worked extremely hard last year. Great job in the weight room and with his conditioning last year. Started to contribute a little bit on the field last year as well. Jumps up from a probably mid-round guy or mid-draft guy last year up to the number 4 overall pick. Herc, what do you think?
Again, solid pick. I think, like you said, him moving up and his production last year really helps. I think this is a good pick to show where he's come from. I think this is a good pick for the house, and I think this is someone that's going to help as the season goes on.
Popular pick among the players as well.
Yes.
He's really well liked.
Well, we talk about lunch pail guys that are going to come in, they're going to put on the hard hat, put in a good, tough day's work, and that is Kamari Hammonds to me. Might not be the strongest player. He's definitely not the fastest, but you never have to wonder what kind of effort you're going to get from Kamari.
All right, that concludes our first round. We will welcome in our new commissioner here as we go from one break to the other, and we'll be right back.
Whopper, 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 Junior, Double, Triple, Whopper, Impossible or Bacon Whopper, I rule this day. And BK, have it your way.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our coverage of the 2024 House Draft here on OCSPN. As many of you know, we have a new commissioner this year. We want to take a second to thank Commissioner Goodbell for his service. Want to give him a big shout out. We are welcoming a new commissioner here today, Fall Pinebaum. Thank you for joining us today.
Appreciate y'all putting this on and being here for this.
So, what's one thing that you want to emphasize here as you join a new league, as you're now over our league of new players being drafted?
I think it's something that the previous commissioner has already established, which is, there's a lot that goes into the house system, but the biggest thing that represents, with my mind, with the house system as a family. They pick these players for a reason, different reasons, and we don't always know what those reasons may be, but they're formulating a team which will become their close-knit family and hopefully part of a bigger family and this whole unit as we move forward.
All right, so give us one thing you're really looking forward to as we get into this season.
I am really looking forward to watching these guys compete, carry on the standard, and again, work to build a flagship program here at OCCHS, and really kind of surprising people, I think.
Okay. Analysis so far. Surprise pick, anybody it really sticks out?
Being the new commissioner, you're still getting to learn these kids, or these young men. Don't necessarily know them as well as the analysts do, as has been apparent. Some great feedback on them. I agree. I think the second overall pick was a little bit of a surprise, and for me it's a surprise because I haven't had as much of a chance to get to know this young man yet. He is a multi-sport kid, which is fantastic. However, he did show up for an after-school workout this week on his own accord. So, I think he's a kid that is going to be a steal. Honestly, I think he'll be a steal for that pick there, and I think he's ready to make his mark on the league.
All right. Well, we got to let you get back to the podium so we can start round 2. We will start back over from the number 4 pick. So the number 4 pick. The team that picked will now pick number 5. We will snake draft. So that will be House Endure. They will have the number 5 overall pick.
Our second round pick number 1 for the 2024 Obion County House Draft team, our House Endure, selects Derek Argo.
Pick number 5 has come off the board. Is going to be Derek Argo for House Endure. Derek, was our leading tackler last year. Played inside linebacker for us. Was a force to be reckoned with. So he's going into his junior season. So what do we think?
I think it's a very solid first to second round turn for House Endure here by adding Derek Argo to the roster. He's very strong for his position, underrated in terms of his speed, and his game instincts are going to be a major factor for House Endure this season.
I honestly think this should have been a first-round pick. Honestly think this should have been someone that teams should have looked at earlier. I think the pick number 2 probably could have fell a little lower. Derek Argo should have been in the first round. Still a lot of maturity there, but this is a young player that has a lot of growth, has a high ceiling.
Yes, the potential is really there. I mean, if he can really reach the potential that he has, they've got a really, really solid player.
Absolutely.
So the commissioner is ready for the next pick.
With the second pick in round 2 of the 2024 Obion County House Draft, House Faith selects Arrow Layton.
House Faith with the number 6 overall pick goes with Arrow Layton. What do you think?
You know, House Faith is managed by 2 linemen, Morgan Carpenter and Jamari Hammond. So how do they start this draft? With 2 of the best pound-for-pound athletes on this team. That's some savvy roster management by Jamari and Morgan there. Like a shot to the heart of an unsuspecting deer, our Arrow came out of nowhere last JV season and really electrified the team from there. We know that objects at rest stay at rest, and objects in motion stay in motion. Before the start of this draft, with Morgan and Jamari, there were a lot of objects at rest, but with the picks of Jalen and Arrow, we've got some motion going on for House Faith.
Smarty Myth with the Isaac Newton. Breaking that out there.
Smart.
Nice.
It's in the name.
That's right.
It's in the name.
Definitely a surprise pick for me. You know, someone that, you know, like you said, came on the scene a little late, wasn't someone we were really expecting. I think there were choices that could have been made before this, but at the same time, like you said, you know, getting some athletes, getting some talent in the house, I think is, you know, a little bit of speed helps a long way for those linemen.
And I agree, one of the pound for pound, one of the best athletes that we have. And, you know, he came out of, kind of like we said, kind of came out of nowhere last year. Very mobile, guy that can run around, make some plays with his legs. Made a lot of huge plays last year in the Westview JV game. Really came through for us there. Well on his way to becoming a great player for us.
Drivers and arrows. Drivers and arrows. Objects in motion.
All right, and the commissioner is ready for the next pick.
With the third pick in the second round of the 2024 Obion County House Draft, House Remarkable selects Weston Quinn.
All right, and then with the 7th overall pick, House Remarkable goes with Weston Quinn. What do we think about Weston?
I think this should have been an earlier pick as well. You know, what he did in the JV games, a young kid that I think really improves for next season and becomes a varsity player. I think this is someone that maybe should have been picked a little sooner in the second round, but at the same time, you know, to get him at this pick is an absolute steal.
It's a youth movement for House Remarkable between picking incoming junior Harrison Hooper 2nd overall and now incoming sophomore Weston Quinn here in the 2nd round. But he's a fast and physical player. He's got a nose for finding space and punishing his opponent for giving it to him.
Another kid that really stepped up JV-wise last year was able to – he played inside linebacker for us a lot. Started off playing a little bit of safety, moved him down. Really instinctual guy, good at really getting after what he needs to do. A lot of effort. His motor is very high. He's a guy that's really going to get after it. So really excited for him.
Can't talk about Weston Quinn without mentioning the head top at Ripley.
That's right. The huge play.
Yes.
Huge play for us.
That was a game winner, basically.
That was a game winner. So excited about Weston, and we go on to the next pick.
With the last pick of round 2 of the 2024 Obion County House Draft, House Elite selects Poston Esri.
With the final pick here tonight in the day one of the 2024 OCCHS Football House Draft, House Elite goes with Poston Essery. A lot of you may remember Poston as the son of the owner of the school. He's a really good kid, great football player, should be a good pick for Elite.
You know, the long wait to get back to the podium for House Elite, they've been waiting since the number 1 overall pick, and it is ended with Poston Essery. He's a solid player with a bright future, but after coming off of 2 knee replacement surgeries at just the age of 16, you have to wonder how much of this pick is about the player and not the parent. You know, since last season, Poston's dad now owns the entire school, and while Poston has been a good player, we just have to question here House Elite's intentions and their leadership with this pick.
I really wonder, along the same lines, you know, where was their thought? Where was their thought in this pick? This is someone, of course, me not being here last year, you know, year before during his freshman year, didn't see him as a player, not someone I seen contribute a lot this year because of the injuries. You know, how much are you going to get out of him in the classroom? Excellent kid. Will it translate to the field?
Well, I think what Elite was thinking about here was the fact that before he had his second knee replacement at the end of the year, he was able to postpone his surgery so that he could help us out at practice on the scout team, stuff like that, for the playoffs. That's really what sticks out to me about Poston, tells me a lot about his character. We know he's going to contribute on the field. He's a good enough kid, a good enough athlete, smart enough kid that he's going to contribute for us. But at the same time, I think Elite was going for a big character selection here. Great kid. Again, intentions with the owner of the school. I mean, he got a promotion, so now he owns the whole thing. Don't know if that's going to sway any points or not, you know, anything like that. But we'll see. I think it's a great pick, a great way to end the first round. And that's going to end our coverage here tonight of the first day of the OCCHS Football House Draft. We want to thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.